Hi everyone, Dave, Lionel Engineering here. Today I want to show a quick video on how to properly unpack a legacy engine. With me today I have a Southern Pacific Legacy AC9, new for 2017. This is the worst case scenario I could think of for unpacking an engine because it is very large, very heavy, and there's two pieces with the locomotive and the tender in it. So this video will hopefully help you to learn how to unpack your engine without damaging it. There's a lot of detail parts, a lot of fragile parts on these engines. So let's get to it. The first thing you have to do to unpack an engine is have your trusty bright orange utility knife. It's the only way to properly unpack an engine because Lionel orange is the only way to go. So let's go with the end that says open this end. It just makes it safer if you open at the end that says open. And we'll just carefully, be very careful with these knives. They're very sharp, obviously. Sharp enough to cut tape. And then I will put that aside for safety's sake. So inside, you'll see the bright orange Lionel box that is wrapped by this plastic sheathing. And you'll also see the user manual here. I'll go over that in a second. We can finish unboxing the engine. And then we'll set the shipper aside. Now to get the plastic off of the orange box, I like to stand it up on end with the open end of the bag down. So then that way you can just easily slip it off over the top. And then here's the bright orange box that everyone loves. Now, I'll go back to the instruction manual real quick. Please make sure to always read the instruction manual that comes with the engine. Most people throw them away because they think they know the product very well, which most people do, but there's always little tidbits and little hints in here that help with every individual engine. So make sure to read it very thoroughly and never throw it away. So now I'm going to throw it away. Now, to open up the engine, I always start with the end of the box that has the label. So all you got to do is open the little tab, open the engine up, and the two flaps, and there are, in the foam, cut in basically a handle shape that helps pull the engine out, or pull the styrofoam out of the box. And it's that easy. So now I'll put the orange box aside. And the top of the styrofoam is indicated by the Lionel logo, Lionel since 1900. So this is the side you want up and to take off first. Now here inside you'll see the locomotive and the tender are both wrapped in one layer of thin foam and then wrapped in a thin layer of plastic as well that does have our logo and a train picture on it. This is to protect the engine on the inside of the box from shifting and being damaged. So I'll start with the tender here. Lift it off and support from the bottom just to unwrap the foam and the plastic sheet. And I'll put this aside. Now here's the tender. Now on the bottom of the tender, you'll see that there are foam pieces in between the frame and the trucks. These are to prevent damage to the engine or the tender from the trucks rotating inside the box during transit. So these slip out pretty easily. You can set those aside too. It's very important to make sure that these are removed before putting the engine on the track, otherwise it just will not track correctly. So that's it for the tender there. Now onto the fun part of the locomotive. Since this is an articulated locomotive, the front of the engine does swing independently from the rest of the engine. So make sure you support that very well so that it doesn't swing while you're unboxing it. And I always, again, like to support the engine from the bottom. So unwrap that from the foam and the plastic as well. And I'll put this aside. Now, all of our engines are different in the kind of foam that they come with them. In this case, there's this extra block of foam in the front that we can remove. This is to protect the details on the front of the engine and to keep the engine from shifting around inside of the box during transit. Now this locomotive, like the tender, you want to turn it over, make sure you support the articulated part, remove the foam from underneath the front truck and also the foam from underneath the rear truck. And now the locomotive is unpacked and very heavy. So there we go. There's the locomotive and tender unpacked. All right, one last piece of foam I wanted to show you in this engine. A lot of articulated engines will have a piece of foam or a foam block in between the front rotating or articulated truck and the engine. So you just want to reach in there and grab that and remove that foam as well. Otherwise, again, the engine will not track properly when you put it on the track and try to run it. Okay, so now that I've shown you the engine, I want to show you what's inside of the box that comes with the engine. On this side, there are two bags. The first bag is a dummy O-gauge coupler. This O-gauge coupler can replace the dummy O-scale coupler that's included on the engine already. This is if you want to double head the engine or couple to regular O-gauge engine or cars or engines from the front of the engine. That's just replaced with one simple screw. The second bag is 4 replacement traction tires for this articulated engine, and it also comes with this wrench. So the traction tires are on the rear set of drivers here, and to get to those, you use the wrench to remove the nuts that are on the side rods, and then that way you can remove the old traction tires and put on the new traction tires. And then you just use the wrench to tighten it back up and make sure you're good to go. Now I'm going to show you how to carefully and meticulously repack the engine so that you can store it away without it getting damaged. Okay everyone, that was how to properly repack your engine, taking your time, make sure it's safe, back in the box so that it can't be damaged when you stow it away. So thanks for watching this video, and hope you check out my upcoming videos as well. We're going to be doing a series on teaching people about legacy, LCS, etc. Just getting the word out there for people to know our products even better. Leave a comment with the video if you want, and I'll see you next time.